might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Technical Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Technical Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Technical Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field. You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Technical Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Technical Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Technical Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Welcome back to Tech Coaching with Ralph. And this week, we are just going to finish what we started last week on the M3U8 parser. I don't expect to be here for too long tonight because we didn't have much to finish. But then again, I also said that the past few live streams when we were going through Java and Python Selenium WebDriver implementation. But we did run into some hiccups last time with the M3U8 parser that we had to figure out, which is all part of software explorations and development and learning how to implement new things. So we'll take whatever we can get. So another note, wanted to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day. Hope that you guys enjoy it and we remember all that the troops have done for us. So let's get to it. All right. Let me see. What do I have? All right. Let's see here. Make sure I got the right camera up. And I do. And I'm trying a new camera out tonight. So leave me some feedback on how the camera is compared to how it's been in the past. And just let me know. Work with me, All right. So let's go to our share screen. All right. Okay, cool. So on the right side, we have the M3U8 parser documentation. And on the left side, we have the M3U8 parser documentation. And on the right side, we have our PyCharm Python IDE open up. And so let's take a look at where we left off last time. So last time we got a M3U8 file path from, so it says cloudfront.net, which that is caching service. But this was from Flow Grappling. It was one of my matches from earlier this year at the Pan American Championships in Orlando, Florida, which I did not do as I had expected to do, but that is another story for another day on another channel. We're not going to talk about that here. So what do we have? So last time the complications that we ran into was we were trying to download the manifest. We're having some errors at the time. And so we tried to get it via a request where it was getting it, we're validating the status codes. But what happened with that is when we load it via text, then it couldn't read the URLs in the sub manifest and the quality manifest. So that's why we had to figure out a way to get it to work through actually parsing through the online manifest. So let's give a quick recap to what we talked about last week. So the M3U8 manifest, it is what pretty much streaming companies use to stream video files, whether it's live or whether it is pre-recorded. It still uses the same concept of the M3U8, where it lists all the video segments that's going to be loaded into the stream. So there can be two types of manifest. There is the variant manifest that contains all the qualities of video that you have. So let's say there's a low definition, there's a standard definition, there is a HD definition, there's the THD, which is normally our 1080p, and then there is, and it keeps going up. Like we have 4K definition now. So that variant manifest will contain all of the sub manifest. We'll call them quality manifest. That's what they are, quality manifest. And then so like now, let's say you are on YouTube, for instance, right, or Netflix or Hulu, pick your poison, right? And you say, I want to watch at the low quality, right? Because maybe it's buffering a lot for you. So you switch to low quality. So now that M3U8 variant manifest is going to look up the URL for the low quality manifest, and then it's going to load that low quality manifest so it can stream the video files through there, right? And they also use that for, like, let's say you have it set on auto, like your quality on auto. So let's say your internet connection goes weak, and then it's going to switch down to like a standard or to a low quality. But then let's say it gets stronger again, then it'll scale you up back to HD, 1080p, maybe 4K, depends, right? So that's how the variant manifest and the quality manifest work together. So why do I find the M3U8 parser very helpful and important? So there hasn't been a clean way to test video playback from what I've seen. And to be fair, I'm pretty new to the video testing realm. So if there's anybody who has been in the video quality assurance testing, like for playback, and you have some feedback on how you've done it, I would love to hear it. I'd even love to talk to you. So if you have experience in this, please reach out to me, and we can figure something out. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to interview you, because not only will it help everyone watching, but it'll definitely help me immensely, just in like the personal work that I do. Either way, but yeah. So if you have, please reach out to me. Okay, so when looking to test video playback, looking for making sure that the quality segments are being loaded and everything like that. I was trying to figure out a way, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can use Beautiful Soup. If you're not familiar with Beautiful Soup, it is a parser that Python has. It can parse through HTML, XML files, and the person I was talking to said, yeah, but doesn't that only parse through XML? And I was like, oh, does it? So then I looked it up, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much XML, HTML. I'm very like it's very limited on the things it can parse. And so then I searched for M3U8 parser, and I came across this, and the things that we're looking to test is like in the way that we're looking to test the video playback. I'm like, oh, this can be very useful for some of the testing things that we do. Oh, and there's different components of video testing as well. All right, of course, there's video testing like through the actual player, so like you're testing the pause, the buffering, all of that. But then there's also testing like the backend components of what's happening network wise, to making sure like the M3U8 file is actually being loaded and it is being parsed correctly, and that it's being able to find the quality manifest, and then like the quality manifest is actually loading the segments, and the segments are the chunks of video files that are being passed through, right? So making sure that it's able to load the segments, and then it's so all of that is working properly. And so there's different components of it, and this part is mostly testing. So the M3U8 parser, I'm using it to test that part of it, where it's kind of like a backend type API testing. But as you can see here, I'm not making any API calls. The M3U8 is kind of making an API call to it's like a get to pull in the manifest, and then it's parsing it. So it's, if you think about it, it's like JSON load and JSON loads, where the JSON load would be getting a remote JSON file and parsing that. This is, so it's like the same concept, but for M3U8 files, right? So if we go over the documentation real quick for the M3U8, so M3U8 file, it has tags, right? And I'm not gonna go through every single one of these tags, but like because we're not doing a course on M3U8, we're talking about M3U8 parsing. So with that being said, it has all these tags, right? And if you are in the video industry or video streaming industry, you're probably familiar with all these tags and creating M3U8 files. So we're talking about like how can you what are some ways we can actually test it, you know? Because if you're a video company and your video doesn't work, then you're kind of like SOL. So yeah, that's that. So let's run let's see where we left off last time. And so we got all the way to how we named the playlist Ralph Gets Destroyed in BJJ playlist. That would be our variant manifest. That would have all of our quality manifest of me getting destroyed in BJJ. So let's say, just for fun, call this one Ralph Gets Destroyed. Quality manifest. And update that. So let's give it a run to see what happens, you know? Because let's just see like what state we left it in. All right, so what we have happening here is I think we're gonna print some. So right now it's pulling in the media segments, right? So the TS files. Let's look up to see the actual explanation of a TS file. Okay, so a TS file is a type of video stream file. It is used to store video content on DVD and Blu-ray disc. It makes use of standard MPEG compression in order to compress video data, mostly being used for saving streamed or broadcast video content. All right, cool. So that's a pretty straightforward explanation. Okay. All right. So another one. Let's say here. So here, if we look at ATS file is a video transport stream that stores video data. So transports. Okay, so now we know .ts stands for transport stream. Perfect. That's very good to know the abbreviations or the meanings of these file extensions are, because it helps you to picture it and rationalize it, and then you're better able to explain what's going on. So all right. All right. So here, what do we have going on here? So it says for each quality manifest in the Ralph Gets Destroyed playlist. So let me print this too so I can just see what's inside of that. Just so we can see where we left off, and then we can have some fun. Okay, so this says, all right, so this is just the manifest. So let's say playlist. So let's print out what playlist it has a part of it. And so in here we have, all right, so we have our 1280 by 720 resolution. We have our 960 by 540, our 800 by 450, 640 by 360, 480 by 270. So this would be our low resolution. This would be our standard resolution. This would be, I guess, equivalent to our 720. So this would be our HD. I'm not familiar with this particular quality right here. And this would be like our 1080p quality, I'm guessing. But I've seen like the numbers that I use that I've been exposed to are a little different than these, but you know, not a big deal. I mean, different streaming companies can have their own resolutions. And for instance, like with Flow Grappling, the tournament that I was in, they're the ones who are setting up the live stream and the recording, so they might be having their own resolutions and things like that. So no biggie. All right, so here are our playlists, right? So that's a playlist for a particular quality. That's one for another quality. If we inspect the file path, so you have like this 3000, you have this 1700, you have this 1000. So and on their wherever they store these manifest files, that's how they would. It looks like that's how they're differentiating which manifest goes into which folder. All right, so let's see what else we can get out of this. So data. So the data would put it as a the data would put it as a like a JSON file. So let's why don't we do that? So let's say here we did playlist, and now let's do let's print some stuff out, right? Just so we can, and then let's do print, and then let's do print. So now let's do rough gets destroyed dot data. See how that one comes through. And then in here, we're gonna do print segment URI. And let's throw in another one of these over here and like that. All right. So let's run this again and see what we get. Let's go here. All right, we stop it. Start over. I don't know what happened to it. All right, so let's take a look at this here. We got that variant manifest. So, okay, so inside the variant manifest data, so media sequence is none because there's no TS files in there, and then is variant. So they're saying this file is a variant. And in the playlist in it, and these are the quality manifests that are in there with information about it. Cool. So now we go down a little bit more. Segment URI. So that looks like it would be all the segments that are related to. So let's print out some more data, right? Playlist dot. See if this gives us anything. I'm going to comment these out. I don't think we need these anymore. And let's see what we can get inside of these segment URIs. Oh, something's not right. Unreadable attribute. Okay, so let's see what else. See, but this is why we do this, right? Because this is how we learn. We're learning about video streaming and what the M3U8 files are, what HLS streaming is, and how it all works. I remember when I was a kid, my mom and dad, they would get us these books called How It Works, and I would just read through them to see like just how different things work. It talked about like how engines worked, how the rain cycle and the clouds and all that stuff works. Like just different things about how things work together. And it just puts you in this exploratory mindset, and then that just leads to innovation on how you can combine things together to make them work a particular way. So let's see. Let's try see if base URI has anything in here. Oh, it does. Look at that. So base URI. What this is telling us, right? If you take this path right here and you were to, I guess, combine it with this path right here, you would get a video. You'd get a video file or a .ts file, a transport stream. So let's. I wonder. So now let me see. Based on this information that's coming here, so this is different than that. Okay, so this is how they're naming their video files, right? So this right here would be, if I compare it over here, I'm not 100% sure what this part of the naming convention is, but there's some type of identifier, right? Maybe it's like the ID of the fight or something like that. I don't know. But this number right here is the part that's changing, right? So look at what's going on here, right? As we saw above, so this is like the highest level stream, maybe the 1080p possibly, whatever it is, right? So let's say that's the highest stream, the highest quality that they recorded in. And let's say this is the identifier of that fight, right? This number right here would be the segment, the video segment. So it's saying play this one first, then this one, and this is the order that it's in as well, right? So it's just the order of the files. This makes sense to have them sequentially. Then we go to this one, and all of them, if you look at here, all of them have the same exact file name, right? But the difference is the path, right? The 1700 path right here. Everything else is the same, but like this 3000, 1700, 1000, that's how they separate the qualities. So that means they have a transport stream file for every single quality, right? They're storing the transport stream files for every single quality. So if you switch, so let's say you start watching 10 minutes into it, right? And then you switch to this quality, right? Whatever the folder in 500 is, right? So then it's going to pick up for where it was, but switch to the file in this folder and keep playing and keep streaming that way. Interesting, right? Okay, so now let's see what we have. What can we do with the segments, right? So playlist segments, and so then the segments, they're just so if we wanted to, we could do another loop that would print out all the segments. But before we do that, so let's see, what do we have in here? So URI would go to, so if we wanted to make the whole thing wanted to like just get the whole URLs for the segments, for the transport stream segments. So first, let's see. So we know that URI is going to give us this file name, right? And it's printing it out as a list, right? So if we were to do part of the exploratory session, let's say we just did this. just like that. Let's see what we get. Out of curiosity, let's see what we get. All right, so it can't concatenate it because the string, not a list. All right, so this is a list and this is the string. So it can't put those two together, right? I mean, of course, let's say let's say just for its and giggles, curious what this would give us. So it gives us the base path for that quality, right? But it gives us a list of, so yeah, that is not what we want, right? Because like, let's say as part of your testing, you wanted to hit each of these media segments to check like the network response on it. So let's say you do a get request on it just to see what the response that you get, which we'll actually do that as part of this, right? Just so you can have an idea of the type of test that you could do as a test engineer. See, it's something I'm not 100% sure of, right? A video test engineer and a software engineer who tests video, right? So let me pull myself up real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, something I'm looking into, right? So there's video test engineers, right? And then there could be a software quality engineer who tests video, right? I gotta look at how to differentiate the two. I'll probably make a video about that because like it's the same thing as a let's say an audio test engineer and a software engineer testing like audio software, right? So let's say, for instance, like the software like Pro Tools that's so popular for DJs and things like that. But so to me, an audio test engineer is somebody who's like testing the setup of the production and everything like that. But then you have the software test engineer who's actually testing Pro Tools for bugs and all of that type of stuff. The same thing I'd say for video, right? You have you'd have a test engineer who would be testing for you have a software test engineer who's testing all of the like the playback functionality of a Netflix or a YouTube or a Hulu, um, NBC, Fox, like all those video providers, right? So testing out the actual software and not necessarily like testing video itself, like there's some part of video that you'd be testing as a software test engineer, but there is a difference between someone who's dedicated to video engineering and audio engineering and testing the software that those things run through. So yeah, that's my thought on it. I'll probably do a video to further the investigation and break it down. I don't want to belabor this point right now and keep us longer than we need to be because I really want to get through this M3U8 process, this M3U8 parser tonight because next week we have a doozy lined up for us. We are going to be looking at reporting and making QA, putting QA on the map. But I was going to say making QA visible, but let's put it on the map. All right. So that being said, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do that now because next week we are going to explore some options for reporting and bringing visibility to the awesome and amazing work that we do as software test engineers. All right. So let's go back to the code. And here we are. So So we see this, right? It's the list and it's the base URI. We do not want that, right? So let's do our best friend of undo real quick. And what we should do, right, instead of just printing out this, I'm going to leave it like that for now, but I'm going to say for TS segment in playlist.segment.uri, right? So we're saying, so we're saying, index. Okay, so I didn't type anything yet. All right, so what it's saying is we're saying we're going to call each of these in here a ts dot segment. We're going to loop through playlist.segment.uri, which is this list right here, right? We're going to loop through it, and now we're going to print out ts. We're just going to print that out for now. And we can take this out, right? So you can see what's about to happen here. And here I'm going to just copy that. And I'm going to say this is going to be TS segment. And we're going to break it down. Oh, shoot. When that happens, we're going to break it down a little bit more after, but okay. All right. Oh, it's segments. Okay, cool. Oh, it's good that I ran it, but I have to fix this keyboard shortcut because when I'm doing basic stuff, it just kicks off the code and we don't want that to happen. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to print this out here and I'm going to add inside of this for to print out these dashes so we can differentiate a little bit better. All right. So what do we have now? So now we're printing out each segment, right? So, but now, but now we're just putting out like a bunch of like repetitive stuff because we are not differentiating it. So let's do this. We're going to take the base URI and we're going to tack it on here like that, right? So now it's taking this from this for loop, right? And it's adding it to this for loop to get the path of the TS segment. So that's the concept. That's what we want to happen. Let's see if it happens. Let's play it back. Play the tape. All right. So here we go. We have this lower quality right at the beginning. We have the higher quality, and it's just tacking it on here. And now let's say we can do. Can we do? What can we print out just so we can see what it is we're actually looking at? So let's say, okay, let's go to the top. And we have the segment URIs. We don't really need this one anymore, but we would like to have some type of information just to better understand what we're looking at. So let's say we do segments dot so playlist. Let's see what we can print out. Let's see what's in playlist. No, nothing good in playlist. Let's see. Let's print out data. See what we can get in data. Because from data, we might be able to print something out from there. So we're going to use pprint just so we can have a better looking, we can have a JSON output of the data so we can actually, so let's say, what would we like to print out to like kind of name this, right? So Okay. So what we can do, instead of printing that out, let's print out that, right? And now we're going from the variant manifest. Actually, let's print out both. Let's do this. We're going to print out this data, but we're also going to print out this data, right? So variant manifest data. And in here, we're going to say this is the quality manifest data, right? So now, what we're doing here is we're just printing out all the information to see what it is that we can use for our testing purposes. And what that does is we we're provided all the information, right? And then now we can say, okay, I want to get this part from the variant manifest. I want to get this part from the quality manifest. I want to get this part from the segments, from the transport stream segments, and then we're going to put them together to create a test, and we can then go from there, right? So, are you following me with that? I hope that makes sense to you. If not, definitely leave me a comment, reach out to me, and I would be more than happy to break it down even more. Talk to you one on one, anything that you want. If you're like, especially if you're in the video testing realm, by all means, reach out to me because I'm still learning myself. But I have a pretty good grasp of like reading through the data, trying things out. Because whenever I'm in doubt, I just try it out. You know, like that's nothing to me. I love to play with this stuff. You know, like one of the things I'm actually looking into is building a test that parses like some XML data and compares it to a video, you know. And I'll probably like be creating a either a video or a live stream software exploration about that in the future. So look out for that. You know, like I said, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet and you are and this you find this information helpful, please do so to help support the channel and let me know that you're interested. Leave me a comment, and I'd be glad to create any videos that you might find useful as well. Right. So here we are. We have the quality manifest. We're going to print out the variant manifest data. We're going to print out the quality manifest data, and then we're going to print out the transport segments data. All right. So let's do it. All right. So let's go to the top. So we have all this stuff printed out. So let's look for. Okay, so let's pre-print the variant manifest data as well. That we can have a good representation of it. All right, so variant manifest data. Auto select yes. URI. So this is they call it type audio. It's interesting. I haven't seen that yet. I wonder why they call it type audio. So playlist dot resolution. So under playlists, which would be variant manifest data dot playlist. Okay. So let's say if we do, there should be a resolution in there. So let's get rid of this one because we should be able to see in the quality manifest something for the resolution. Let's look through it. There goes the segments, which isn't what we want right now. Let's search for resolution. Why is there no resolution in there? That is interesting. So in the playlist. Okay, so let's do this. So let's do Ralph gets destroyed, quality manifest. Let's print that out actually. Turn out the data from that. So these aren't really, is that the quality manifest? I mean, that is the quality manifest, but it's loading the quality manifest to parse it in here. So, or either way. So let's see here. Playlist dot Ralph gets destroyed, playlist dot playlist. So what do we have as part of this one then? Media based. Let's see what stream info gives us. Okay. Stream info gives us. Oh, I do. Oh, okay. So in stream info, we're able to get all of this stuff in here. Let's see if we can get resolution then. So let's say if I run that, what do we get here? Okay, cool. So we can get, so we got the resolution, right? Under stream info and nothing else. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of this one and I'm going to take this and comment that out. And I want quality manifest resolution. And let's see if this is going to work. I don't want that. I want to do, yeah, I could take that. I want to do, see if this works. So I want to do the quality manifest stream info resolution. And then I wanted to do, print out the TS segments for each of those resolutions. So we should have the quality manifest resolution being printed out, and then inside of that playlist.segments.uri, it should print out all the segments for. So let's just make it clean it up a little bit. I'm gonna take this out here so it doesn't show up on every single line. And we go like that, and let's print it. See what happens. All right, let's see. So we have the resolution is 1280 by 720. And we have all of the videos for the 3000. Let's see if we did this right. And then when we break it down to here, at the 1700 folder that they're storing the video, the transport stream files, it's 960 by 540. Okay, that makes sense. Here is so this is folder 1000, 800 by 450. In the 500 folder, 640 by 360. 480 by 270. So now the question is, what can I do with this information? Right? Good question to ask. Okay, so what you can do with this information, here's one test, right? Making sure that when you publish a video file and it has like different qualities, that the manifest that gets generated properly places the TS files for the proper quality in the proper folder, right? So like for instance, so grappling has it defined as the lowest quality is going to go into the 300 folder. The second lowest is going to go into the 500 folder. The third one is going to go into the 1000 folder, 800 by 450, and so forth, right? So what happens is a test that you can do is, all right, so when the manifest is created, we parse the manifest. So first we make sure that we have a variant manifest that gets created, right? And then we make sure that the quality manifests are created, right? And then the next thing that we would do is make sure that the TS files exist. You can make sure that they're in sequential order. And you can make sure that for the proper resolution, they are in the correct folder, or however the structure it is that your organization saves the files. You could make sure that it's in the right location, right? And that could be like part of an end-to-end test of, let's say you publish a video and then now the video gets processed and all the qualities are rendered. Then you can say, okay, now we're going to make sure that like all of that is created and then the transport files are in the right folder, and then you can take it to, okay, so now this is the response that I should get when I do a GET request to the transport stream file, right? So what time is it? Okay, why not do it a little bit, right? There's nothing better than live examples. So we're gonna do some assertions, okay? So we know from flow. So let's uncomment some stuff out, right? And so also there are in the, let's print one out again. So let's print it. The reason that we want to print it, so it even says the duration of each of those transport stream files, those .ts files, right? So by having that information, you are able to just more validation, right? So let's say that it said that all of the TS files are supposed to be 5 seconds long, right, or 6 seconds long. You validate, but the very last one is most likely going to be less than that 5 to 6 seconds, because if it was more, it would create a new one, and it's either going to be less or equal to that, right? So you could do a test where you're saying, all right, when you query all of the TS files, all the segments, all of the duration should be 5 seconds, and then the last one should be equal to or less than 5. See a test that we just come up with on the fly, all right? So that's that. So let's do this. So let's let's do some type of testing, right? Let's print out some information. So let's go with this one. With the playlist. So we're gonna get it from Flow Grappling, and I'm gonna comment all of this out for now. Let's comment all of this out. All I want to do right now is get the playlist and see what kind of validation we can do on it, right? So here we are. We have this. And let's say we get it as data. Or SP print it. All right. So let's say the first validation we're going to do is, let's start our validation right about here. Assert. So I want to assert that Ralph get destroyed and BDA playlist is variant. Actually, this is true. Might not even need it though. But if it is not, expected there manifest to be variant. We do actual manifest is, then we would say curly braces, and we just print out whatever this is here, right? So if we run it, so every time after I do that, I would run it, and my assertion did not fail. So just to make sure that our code is good, if I change that to false, my assertion should fail. Expected mana. All right. So, oh, there's an extra quote in here somewhere. So let me get rid of that. No, it's not that. Oh, wait. Put that as that. That. Run it one more time. Make it pretty. We got an assertion error. Expected manifest to be variant. Okay, so then that's because we put a false here. So let's move that back to true. And we're going to show an example of that by saying, so you run that. So now our code is good. So now, so there goes one test already, right? We already got one test. We got verifying that the manifest that it pulls up is actual manifest is actual variant, right? And let's say here's an maybe not end to end, but let's say here's a video playback testing scenario, right? You go to a video that is being played. You use maybe something like Selenium Wire to capture that M3U8 file, right? The first one that gets loaded, you capture that with Selenium Wire, or let's say if you're using the performance logging through the Chrome driver, and then however you capture that M3U8 through playback, right? And now you take that M3U8 file and you bring it to the M3U8 parser, and you're saying, okay, that first manifest that I got, is that a variant? Is that the variant manifest? Because it should be, right? Is that the variant manifest? And you run it through here. You get that URL and you put it in, you load it through here, and then it should take you here and says, so test number 1, is it a variant? If it is, then this test passed. If it isn't, then it's going to say, it expected the manifest to be a variant, but in actuality, it found out that it was not a variant. All right, so we have one test down. Let's do some more testing. Okay. So in here we have for the quality manifest inside of the variant manifest. Okay, so let's comment. So we are going to comment out this pprint in this playlist because we already have our first test. And now we're going to say, okay, print out let's print out the stream info. Let's print out the manifest data. Print this out. So let's print all of these, all right? So now we have our resolutions. What kind of validation can we do here, right? So inside of this, why don't we do this? Outside of the for loop, we're going to do, and you can like start this anywhere, right? Let's say we do a manifest or qualities we all right, so qualities rendered for manifest, and we say so the qualities that the company that we work for offer are, so we put it like that, and then we put it like that. So now I'm just like thinking off the cuff. It might not. Oh, actually, I don't want to do that. I would say, let's say this resolutions, which I could have done it this way, but I don't want to do it that way. I want to use this actually, because we should be able to query that resolution. See if we can do that. All right. So I don't know if you see where I'm going here, but what I would want to do is use this list of the resolutions that we offer. So for whatever company you're working for, you should already know that list of resolutions. So now you can make sure that the video that is under test has those resolutions loaded, you know? So we have our qualities, right? And now in here, give it a print, and we have, maybe we should have did it the other way. Let me see. Let's print this way. So if I do it this way, resolution, if I do it that way, then it prints it out of, okay, so let's just, I'm sure there's a way to get it like that, but let me see. Let me try something. I don't think this is gonna work, but let's find out. Oh, it does work. Interesting. So what we could do in that case, right? We could do this. So let's go like that. And we're gonna say many different ways we could do this, but this is one way, right? Let's do assert that we want the first position of the manifest. What we're gonna do, assert that resolution for manifest for the position. So what I want to do is I want to get the first one of the Ralph gets this word in playlist. Let me try this. I might be doing something wrong here, but like I said, that is how we learn. No, I don't think it's that one. I think it's gonna be this one. Let me see. Let me try that. Let's see what happens for. Okay, for that, the resolution for that shit. Because what I want to do is the first position of resolution for manifest is equal to and I want it to be this right here. And I wanted to say, so I'm taking the resolution and I'm gonna say a string of resolution 0. Okay, I'm gonna use f strings instead. That'll be way better to do it. So I think don't quote me on that yet until like never quote me until we actually figure it out. That's the new rule. You don't know what you're talking about until you actually do your work. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna say this is gonna be times no space times one. So that should get us this right here. That's the hope at least. So let's go. Let's see where we feel. So playlist has no len. Let's try it on this one then. And let's give it a run. Assertion error list out of range. Okay, so we're getting close, right? Let's comment out some stuff so we can work on this particular test. We're able to get this printed out. Is there anything else we don't need? No, we can leave that one line for now. Okay. So we have stream info resolution. Our problem is here. So let's do this. Let's play around with this so we can find out the one that we actually need, right? Print here. that off. This is 5. Okay, so this is our ranking as 5. So I don't want the length of that. I want the looping of that. So let's see what this one gives me. The playlist has no length. I always have trouble with this part. So how do I? All right. So let me see if I do this. This is out of range. That's for that part here. So this one just gets me the stream information. But what I want to do is get the position of this in there. So, so this would be what that does. All right, cool it is. For Python for loop index. Okay, so for x and x, da da da, 1, 2, 3. I think I saw this one last time. Let's do enumerate. It's not really what I want to do. All right, let's try the enumerate, I guess. So can I do, let's see what happens if I put enumerate over here. Not too familiar with the enumerate one. See if it breaks anything. So if we do enumerate and then Stack Overflow, our good and faithful friend. All right, so we have for IDX, X and enumerate print IDX. So here, if we print so print let's see what happens. Let's comment this out for now. Let's see what we get. So something and enumerate. So let's try how they have it here, right? So let's say we do index like that. and we run it. So, let's print out the index. Okay, so here we are. Now we got our index correctly, and we have our quality manifest correctly. We're going to say the index of that should equal this. So let's roll the tape. Show that beautiful bean footage, and we are good to go. So for the first one. So let's say now we were to just for it's in giggles. Let's say we put this at 22, 722. So now we have an assertion error, right? Let's clean up our assertion. They're saying the resolution of the manifest should equal these two things. However, what happened though was that actual or expected, our expected resolution was we're gonna say f string on this one. X string on this one, and we're gonna say it was going to be Rob gets the stored quantity manifest. No, that's not what we want. We want resolutions for manifest with index. Oh, I like this enumerate thing. It makes it pretty clean. And then we're gonna say the actual resolution is and we're gonna go here up two of those times. And that one is going to be the second position. Let's put our squiggly brackets and we're good. So now when we run it, all of them should be good except for the first one because that's when we change the name on. So, okay, here we go. Expected resolution 1280 by 722. Actual is 1280 by 720, which we know it's supposed to be the 720, but we're just testing it out. So now in our test data, okay, so we're going to change that back to 720. That was the only one that failed. Run it one more time. No failures. All right, cool. So here we are. So now we have two tests written for testing playback without ever actually pressing play. So let's take some stuff out. We don't need this anymore. Okay. Now, as we're coming up to the 11 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time, we have two different tests going. We have a test for making sure that's a variant manifest. Then we have a test for the resolution on the quality manifest. And now, what's the next test that we can do? We can let's load the Let's load the segments in the quality manifest. So we have the segments loaded from the absolute URIs from the quality manifest. But for the playlist, let's print the playlist out real quick. We have 2 tests running that are passing. Let's get a third test in there. Okay, so inside of this playlist, there must be that one. So that would be the segments in there. Okay. Data, no. Segments, yes. So we can just, that's stream info. We have, okay, so let's do segments. And let's give it a print. Okay, so segments, all right. So let's say dot URI. That should be a list. Oh no, okay, so that is a list. Okay, because we're printing. Okay, cool. So there's that, but we know, okay, so we know that we can for loop that. Is there anything else we wanted to validate here? So we're validating that the resolutions match on the quality manifest. We're validating that the first manifest is a variant manifest, not a quality manifest. And let me see. Now, just a second. All right, so now that we're in the list, we want to break it down even further. What are the tests that we said we could do? We said we could, let's see. So let's actually break it down. All right, so we're going to go to, let's do it like this. All right, so let's comment this one out. And we're actually going to get the actual segment. I don't think we need stream info resolution anymore. We run that. All right, so we have all of these files. We might come back and do another one because, so here's why I'm thinking about doing another M3U8 parsing video, right? Because, or maybe I can do preview, but I like doing it live stream because as I'm working on the live stream, I'm coming up with different ideas. You see these tests that I just came up with totally on the fly of like how we can validate that manifest generation is happening properly. It's like we could go ahead and like we schedule a test to upload a video, and then once that we get notification that the video is done being processed, we can trigger our playback, like the things that make the playback work, which is primarily the M3U8. After like the video is processed, of course, but primarily the M3U8. We need to be able to make sure that the file being delivered to the right location, the length of each segment. So I think I'm going to end up writing that part down, and then maybe we could follow up and create these tests around it because we already have 2 tests, right? So let's say let's do another test real quick. So we printed this out. So what can we validate on this, right? Let's validate Let's do this before we validate anything. Let's do request. So let's do ts response equals request dot get, and we're gonna do this right here, and then we're gonna say ts response dot status code. So here's a validation, right? Assert that ts code status code, ts response status code equals 200. We're gonna say so expected is status code of 200. Let me stop this. So with this validation, right? If for some reason a file is broken or not found or something like that, whatever, if it gets a different status code, you know that something's wrong inside of the within the manifest, like loading the transport stream files, the TS files. So actual status code. And then here we're gonna put the actual status code that we got. Okay, so now we have 3 tests running, right? And let's take the printout, because if it fails, then it's going to print out the reason that it failed, and it'll print out the actual status code. All right, so we have our base URIs, we have our, and I want to print out as well. See, what I should do is full yes equals. So, because the other one, like this way is so like messy, but here we got the best right here, and that should work. What I wanted to print here was the JSON or TS response dot. I don't know if there's any JSON with that, but I'm going to do JSON and I'm going to do text just in case. SP print that one. And then this one is, they don't ever ask for text on JSON on the response text. So let's go with that. Let's run these 2 things, see what we get. Okay. Where did it fail? It failed at the JSON one. Let's take that one out. Let's leave it as text then, as a response. Okay, so we know that it is, okay, so let's stop that. I don't want the actual text. What I would like are the headers though. Let's what's inside the headers. Because that is like, okay, perfect. Okay, this is what we want. All right, let me stop it. So now you see this data that we're getting here, the content type, the content length. I don't think we're going to do any validation on the content length. However, we do have, and so look at that. They're storing it on AWS. see that Amazon S3. So they're storing the TS files on Amazon S3. There is a cache hit. CloudFront is doing the caching. Very cool. All right, so tons of data in here, right? So now that we have this data, we can say, this might be the last part for the night. We're gonna say assert that ts underscore response. So we're already asserting for the status code, right? We're gonna say assert dot headers, and inside the header we want the content type. And we're gonna say it equals to video mp2t. Now we have another test in here, right? So let's say we have, oops, not there. All right, so let's say we have expected content type PD actual. Golly. Content type is, and that's gonna be here. Oops. And that's a single, and put that inside of those squiggly brackets. So just for testing, let's say we change that to a P, right? And we run it. Oh, all right. So here we go. Assertion error expected. Actual content is that. Perfect. So there goes another test, right? So we have now we have, so let's fix this part. So now we have 1, 2, and keep in mind, like for a test like this, it's going to run every single segment that there is, right? So yeah, this is, so look at these tests that we have. We have testing, verifying the content type of the segment, right? What else was in here? We don't need these headers anymore, but just this one right here is very important, right? Let's get rid of this. So we have these two tests. And then we have that. If we run it, we're gonna see it's, so through each of these steps, there's a validation that's happening. So now what is the, and you see, just like if you look here, it's just loading, it's just making a request to all of those files, getting the content type. That's why we need like the request package, which is going to be very useful as part of our testing. But as you saw tonight, we did a lot of exploration on figuring out, and then we, based on that exploration, see, and that's the thing, it's so important to explore because based on the exploration that you do, you come with tons and tons of ideas of things that you can test, right? So let's think. All right, so now it goes to the next one. We can stop that. So a test that we can probably incorporate next time is making sure that these tests are in the correct folders that they should be in. And I think we could probably do that very similar to how we did where is it? It's very similar to that one. Let's see. That is, Yeah, similar to this one. Okay, cool. So here we are. We have 4 tests, 3 tests so far. 4 tests. There you go. So our tests are as follows, right? We have the variant manifest. It's validating the first file that's loaded. The variant manifest is actually a variant manifest. And then the next test is M3U8 load. Da, da, da. So we don't need this anymore. So what this is doing is it's comparing the resolutions found in the quality manifest to make sure that it's what we offer in the order that we offer it in. Okay. And then we go down a little bit more, loading the URL. So we combine here the base URL with the segment, which I'm pretty sure that's what developers are doing as well, and or that's what the manifest file is doing as well, to combine the base URI with the actual segment. So then I just take it to combine the two, and then I go to print it out, which I won't really need anymore, but I just wanted to have it here. There's going to be some validation that takes place, right? Because like this validation, making sure like when you try to get the segment is a 200, which is correct, and then here is making sure it's a video file, which is also right. I think next time what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna stop sharing the screen right now so that we can start wrapping up, because then the next time, like pretty much we've gone through the parser, and now what we're doing is we are using the parser to come up with tests that we can validate that the manifest is the manifest generation that we do is working properly. And this little parser, the M3U8 parser, do that, right? What else? So yeah, here we are. This is what we're doing, and we are going to the next time. What we're gonna do? We're gonna just add some more tests. It'd be a quick session, add some more tests, and to wrap this one with a nice bow. So, like I said earlier, if there's any test engineers who work for a media company, please reach out to me, because I am very curious on the way that you do testing there, how you handle your playback testing and all of that, how fast your tests run, things that I'm interested in. And let me know what you think about this M3U8. M3U8 parser, if you find it useful, if there's anything in particular that you want me to touch on, if you want to know like how exactly I'm using it in my test suites, anything, leave me a comment, send me a message, send me an email, whatever you want to do. I'm willing to speak to anybody and collaborate to help put QA engineering on the map as one of the most hard working and successful engineers that there are. All right. So if you haven't yet, like the video, share the channel, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, whatever it is that you want to do. Find out a way to reach out to me, and I will definitely be in touch with you. All right. Until next time, friends, this is Tech Coach Ralph signing out.
might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Technical Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Technical Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Technical Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.